Assalamu alaikum and good morning, and welcome you all guys in the lecture of the series of the biostates. In the today lecture we will go to learn about the hypothesis of testing. And the continuation of the hypothesis testing in the today lecture we will go to learn about the type 1 error and the type 2 error, and what is the type 1 error and what is the type 2 error. And the second parts of our lecture we will go to learn to solve the hypothesis testing by using the 5 steps of the hypothesis testing. Okay, let's to go to learn about the type 1 error, type 2 error. What is actually the type 1 error and type 2 error is says. Here I drew the 2 by 2 table in which I write down the type 1 error and type 2 error. If you see at the top of the of this 2 by 2 table, it is written over here the null hypothesis is true or the null hypothesis is false. The top one title is for the hypothesis statement, either it is a true, either it is a false. And when we will come up in the row form, we say it is a decision taking rows. In decision taking, either we will reject the null hypothesis, either we will go to accept the null hypothesis, or means we do not reject the null hypothesis. Suppose, let's see over here, if the null hypothesis is a true, and after using the statistical test we reject the null hypothesis. In the decision making, when we reject the null hypothesis, when the null hypothesis is a true, that it is called the type 1 error. Let's once again I repeat for you, when the null hypothesis is a true but we are rejecting the null hypothesis, that is called the type 1 error. Now what is the type 2 error? If you see in the column, and the null hypothesis is false, here look over here, the null hypothesis is false, but in the decision making we do not reject the null hypothesis, so it means type 2 error. Means the null hypothesis is false, it's not a true, it's not a correct, but we do not reject the null hypothesis, means we fail to reject the null hypothesis. It means it is called the type 2 error. Let me repeat once again, when the null hypothesis is false or it is not a correct, but in the decision making we cannot reject the null hypothesis, we are not rejecting the null hypothesis, we fail to reject the null hypothesis, this type of error is called the type 2 error. Okay, in the part 2, in the today's session, which is I told you earlier, in the part 2 we will go to learn to solve the numerical of the hypothesis or testing by using the 5 steps. In the step number 1, which is written over here, we will go to write down the hypothesis statement. Okay, in the hypothesis statement, we learned in the first lecture, in the initial lecture of the hypothesis testing, that it is the null hypothesis and the second one is the alternate hypothesis. These are two types of the hypothesis. One is called the null hypothesis and the second one is called the alternate hypothesis. The null hypothesis is the hypothesis in which there is no difference between the two parameters. It means the population parameter and the specific value have the no difference, and the null hypothesis is already tested by some another researcher. Now in the alternate hypothesis, the researcher or you are going to be conducting the new research in which you are claiming against that particular null hypothesis statement. Now in the alternate hypothesis there is a difference between the two parameters, between the population parameter and the specific value. Just take an example of the previous one, in which h naught mu is the population parameter. The mean heartbeats, the mean pulse rate of the population is 82 beats per minute. The pulse rate of the population, the mean pulse rate of the population is 82 beats per minute. Okay. Now the researcher is claiming, now maybe you are going to be conducting the new research, that the alternate hypothesis, in the alternate hypothesis you are claiming, the researcher is claiming that the mean pulse rate of the population is not equal to 82 beats per minute. So in the alternate hypothesis you will go to write down, say, alternate HA mu is equal to, you can cross it, it means it is not equal to 82 beats per minute. Okay. Now the second step of the hypothesis is the level of the significance. The level of significance is called the alpha. Okay. If you are going to be solved, the confidence interval is given to 95%. Okay, and the 95% confidence level, you are going to be testing these particular hypothesis, that what is the remaining is the 5%. So the 5% is 0.05. If it is a one tail or either a two tail, it will be 0.0. If you become a two tail, then you will go to divide by the 2. It will be come up with the 0.025. So if you will go to take the value of the alpha 0.05 or 0.025% is 1.96. If the alpha is 1%, okay, and you will go to divide by 2, it will become a 0.05. So it is the 99%, and the value of the 99% is the 2.58. For the 90%, the value is 1.64. Okay, for the alpha 90% or 10%, so it is 1.64. right. Now we will go the third steps. The third steps is called the test statistics. The third steps is called the test statistics. In the test statistics, we will go to use the specific formula. Either we will go to solve the hypothesis with the z-test. Z is equal to x bar minus mu divided by standard deviation divided by square root of under root n. Okay. Then either we will go to solve by the t-test. T is equal to x bar minus mu divided by s divided by s divided by square root n. If the sample size is equal to 30 or more than 30, if the sample size is more than 30 or 30 equal to 30 or more than 30, then you will go to use the z-test. If the sample size is less than 30, then you will go to use the t-test. The t-test is actually called the student t-test. Okay. Okay. Now in step number 4, we will go to write down the rejection area, a rejection decision. Okay, rejection decision on the basis of critical region. Okay, now how I will go to write down, then before to taking the decision, you should always keep in remember in your mind, in the rejection area, while you are solving the problems of the test stating of the hypothesis, then in the step number 4, while you are going to writing the rejection decision, you are taking the rejection decision on the basis of the critical region. So you should always draw the diagram, Bell diagram. So if it is a two-tail, you should be marked on the both side the critical region. So we took the alpha is 0.05 and 0.05 is a two-tail. If it is a two-tail, because we took the example of the two-tail, so the what would be the value? 0.025. In the 0.025 on the two-tail, the critical the Z table, it is the value for that is 1.96. So 1.96 will be the critical region on the plus side and minus 1.96 on the left side. So this is the critical region on the both side, because this is a two-tail test. We are going to be solving the problem on the basis of the two-tail. If we will go to write down, if we will go to solve the problem on the basis of the hypothesis on the one tail, either on the right side, either on the left side, then you will go to write down the critical region and the bell shape on the right side. Okay, if the alternate hypothesis is greater than null hypothesis. If the alternate hypothesis is a mention in the statement of the alternate hypothesis, that is the less than the null hypothesis, so we will go to mark on the left side. Okay, in the one tail, if it is a greater, then we will go to write down, we will draw the bell shape and we will write down the 1.96 over here. Okay, so it is a one tail, but on the right side. Okay, if your alternate hypothesis is mentioning that it is a less than, is lower or less, so it will be minus 1.96. It's again one tail, okay, but on the left side, right? Okay, now in the two tail, suppose 1.96 on the plus side, 1.96 minus 1.96 on the left side. This is the critical region. Okay, if the answer of your Z calculus, this is a Z tabulated value. Okay, Z tabulated value of the alpha 0.05, okay, divided by 2, it is 0.025 and this is 0.025. Okay, so the value on the Z table of the alpha, Z alpha by divided by 2, the value is 1.96, is the Z tabulated. When we the Z calculus value, if it is come with suppose 3.5, so 3.5 will be fall over here, because 3.5 is greater than z calculus value is greater than z tab value, because z calculus value is 3.5 is greater than z tabulated 1.96 value. So 3.5 will be goes to fall down in the rejection area. When the z calculus value fall in the rejection area, okay, so we reject the null hypothesis, right? Because suppose the z calculus value which is come up with the 3.5, it is a suppose value. So the 3.5 is a greater than the z tabulated value 1.96. So 3.5 will goes to fall down in the rejection area. So on the when the z calculus value will fall down in the rejection area, then we reject the null hypothesis. If the z calculus value come up with suppose 1.2, so 1.2 z calculus value is lesser than z tabulated value. So what is the z calculus value? 1.2 is less than 1.96. So where it will be fall down? Definitely it will be fall down over here. It will be fall down over here, 1.2. So when the z calculus value, okay, which is suppose 1.2 does not fall in the rejection area, so we do not reject the null hypothesis. Okay, let's make a clear your concept. So how you will go to reject the null hypothesis? On the basis of the z calculus value. If the z calculus value, look over here, here is the margin of the critical value, okay. The critical value by the z tabulated value is we come up with the by the z table, it is 1.96 and minus 1.96 on the both side, because we took the example of the two-tail hypothesis. Now suppose if the z calculus value which is come up with the 3.5, you know 3.5 is greater than 1.96. So definitely 3.5 will goes to fall down on in this side in the rejection area. When the z calculus value will goes to fall down in the rejection area, then we will go to reject the null hypothesis. When we reject the null hypothesis, actually it is a true, so it is called the type 1 error. Now in the second example, which is I told you, if suppose the z calculus value after the calculation it's come up with the 1.2 value, okay, so 1.2 is less than 1.9, so it is fall before the critical value. Look over here, 1.2 which is falling over here, it is not falling in the rejection area, but it is falling in before to 1.96. So when the z calculus value which is suppose 1.2 does not fall in the rejection area, so we do not reject the null hypothesis. When the hypothesis is false but we are failed to reject the null hypothesis, we are not going to reject the null hypothesis, this is called the type 2 error, okay. So this is the type this is the step number 4. On the step number 4, we are going to taking the decision on the basis of the Z calculus value. Either it is going to be fall in the rejection area. If it is a fall in the rejection area, then we will go to reject the null hypothesis. If it does not fall in the rejection area, so we fail to reject the null hypothesis. Now in the step number 5, in step number 5, we will go to write down the result statement. Okay, result statement, or you can say result interpretation. Okay, so what we will do, if suppose the calculus value, Z calculus value, which is come up with the 3.5, so the Z calculus value 3.5 falls in the rejection area. We reject the null hypothesis that the mean pulse rate of the population, okay, is not equal to 82 beats per minute. Okay, because in the, see over here what we write down in the statement, we write down in the hypothesis statement that the mean, in the null hypothesis, that the mean pulse rate of the population is 82 beats per minute. But we claimed, the researcher was claimed that it is not equal to 82 beats per minute. So in the conclusion we come up that the 3.5, suppose 3.5, which is a greater than by the Z tabulated value, so it is the fall in the rejection area, so we reject the null hypothesis. So in the when we reject the null hypothesis, means the alternate hypothesis is a true. So we reject the null hypothesis, and we what the researcher claimed, the researcher was claimed that the mean pulse rate of the population is not equal to 82 beats per minute. So the claim of the researcher was proved, that it is not the 82 beats, the pulse rate of the mean population is not equal to 82 beats per minute. So I hope in the today's session of the hypothesis or testing, so we learned what is the type 1 error and what is the type 2 error, and we learned in the second part of the lecture that how you will go to test the hypothesis testing by using the 5 steps. So we learned in detail how you will go to solve the hypothesis testing by using the 5 steps. Now in the next lecture we will go to solve the hypothesis testing by using the 5 steps to solve the few examples. So when we'll go to solve the few examples of the hypothesis testing by using the 5 steps, it will clear your concept more in detail and more in a good way. Thank you so much.